Welcome back to the channel. It is RacerX, and today I'm actually up in Frisco, Texas at Frisco Dodge Jeep Chrysler Ram right off of 121, and I've actually never done a video with these guys before, but today I am here and I want to actually tell you about some of my favorite features of the Chrysler 300S. And I know I've done a video on this before, not this exact subject. I did show you the 300S before, but I've never really gone over several of the small little quirky features that I really like about this car. So today I'm going to tell you what I really love about the 300S. Also, guys, if you are new to my channel, do me a big, gigantic favor. Hit subscribe for me. Hit that notification bell for more great content. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, and we are off. We got the 1,000 horsepower helmet. God. So there it is. That is the 2021 Chrysler 300S sedan featuring the 5.7 liter naturally aspirated Hemi. And I think this is an absolutely wonderful package on this car. I've talked about it many times in the past of how much I really like the RT Charger. Well, I almost like the Chrysler 300 even better because it just has some really nice refinement to it. And it's not that I don't like the Charger RTs. As a matter of fact, I really like those, and I like the Challengers as well. But the Chrysler 300 really does have a soft spot in my heart. It is a very comfortable, nice driving sedan. And as we know, sedans really across the board, especially with American manufacturers, are kind of gone the way of the wind. I mean, you just don't really see them much anymore. Ford kind of did away with them, and you still see them out there from like Tesla and stuff. But finding a V8 powered sedan anymore is becoming harder and harder to do. So it's not that it's a dinosaur. It's actually a great car, same chassis as the Charger, but there are some key differences. One of the most striking things about the Chrysler 300S really is the front grille. I mean, take a look at it. It fills up a lot of the front of this car, but it has very unique headlights in the front. So you can kind of tell it doesn't look exactly like a Bentley, but it has a little bit of a sort of Bentley type flair to it. But you can tell there's a little more luxury involved with this particular one than you would find, say, in the Charger. I really like the wheels on the 300S. Of course, the black I think looks really nice. You can see the hood is not just perfectly flat. You do get a little bit of a groove there in the center. And then also, like I said, the back of the car really is kind of nice looking, a little more squared off. You do get a spoiler with this particular package, a very telltale Chrysler emblem here in the back, and you can tell it is a 300S. And you get some nice chrome accents here on the bottom as well. But a very striking sedan indeed, the Chrysler 300. Now, when you look at the interior of the Chrysler 300S, I mean, it really is a fantastic place to sit, nicely appointed leather. And I do realize you can kind of spec these things out in many different ways. They've got a few trim levels out there, this, of course, being the highest trim level in the S for 2021. But while it does have a very similar look and feel to a Charger, there are some key differences, and it has just a little bit more of kind of a luxury tinge to it. I mean, it does feel like a luxury place to sit in this vehicle, and even in the back seats, has similar room like you would get in a Charger. But I've always said this, for some reason on these 300s, the seats just seem to be a little bit softer. I can't explain why that is, but literally the seats in a 300, and I noticed this when I compared the V6s a little while back, it's just a softer seat. It's a softer place to sit, which makes them really nice. And of course, in the back, you do get a couple of controls here, heated and cooled seats in the back of this particular trim as well. Now, sitting in the Chrysler 300S, I have to say that it has a similar feel to like a Charger, which I've driven a lot of. But I guess, like I mentioned before, the seats in this car just feel just slightly softer to me. A couple of really neat things that I do like about the 300S. One, check out this, you can barely see it, but I mean, this has a huge panoramic sunroof, both over the front and the back. I mean, it just really opens up, and it kind of gives the car a really nice look and feel. And also, there are some trims of this that you get the power mirrors. And what I mean by that is not just adjusting the mirrors, but they actually fold in. And, well, you know, you may say RacerX, well, I mean, a lot of vehicles do that. My truck does that or whatever else. The Charger actually doesn't do that. Oh, you only get that on the Chrysler 300. So even though it's a small thing, it can make a difference. So now looking at the driving position in the Chrysler 300S, as you can see, the gauges are actually quite nice in this. I really like the blue hue. It kind of gives that chill, sort of mellow vibe out there, which I think is really nice. The speedometer is very easy to read. You can see the traditional kind of Chrysler emblem you have here. The center console looks very, very similar to a Charger. You can see this has the paddle shifters just like you would get in a Charger. Really nice leather wrap steering wheel in this car, so it does have a really nice feel to it. Now this clock here is unique to the 300, and then of course a really nice 8.4 inch infotainment screen here. And another little feature that you get on this particular car is you actually get illuminated cup holders, not only in the front, but you get them in the back. And while, you know, that's not really a big thing, it does kind of add to the ambience of the car. It's actually something I really like. A couple other key points kind of when you're looking at the center section here, you kind of get these black trim pieces in the 300S, which I actually kind of really like. It's sort of a nice understated look. And of course the gear selector here is different than in both the Charger and the Challenger, where, you know, you get sort of the traditional feel here. On this one you kind of get this rotary selector, just something a little bit different about the 300, and I actually kind of like it. One other quick little thing that is kind of cool about this particular gear shifter is that, you know, when you go to put the thing in drive, there you go. It's ready to go. You have to push it down to put it in sport. But then if you actually turn the vehicle off, say you forget to actually put it in park, we'll actually turn the vehicle off, and this thing does something kind of funny. Watch this. Here it go. It automatically selects park for you. So even if you're really forgetful, the car's got you taken care of. One other quick little item of note that I really like about the 300S is for $100, you can actually get the like the red leather in this. And you guys know me, I love me some red leather in here, and only $100. And it really does change the look and the feel of the inside of this car. So I feel like that is money well spent. So I know a lot of Dodge folks out there talk about how cool it is that both the Charger and the Challenger GT come in an all-wheel drive version. But what doesn't get talked about a lot is the fact that the 300 has two different versions, both the Touring and the Touring L. They also come in all-wheel drive. And while the V8, like this one, is not available with all-wheel drive, it is kind of nice that Chrysler offers it. Now, one other feature that I think is pretty cool about the 300S that you don't get, obviously, in the Charger is this little thing. You get an automatic sunshade, and some people may say, big deal. Hey, you know what? It's kind of cool and unique to this particular vehicle, and so why not? So we are seeing the different trims of this actually get pared down by Chrysler. So actually, there's kind of only 3 trims out there right now, right? You can get the Touring, you can get the Touring L, and then you can get the Chrysler 300S. Now you can get the 300S in either a V6 or like this one, which is the 5.7 liter V8. But that's essentially, you know, all you get from a trim level perspective. Now they used to have one called the Limited, and that one is no longer available. And also the Chrysler 300C. They stopped making both of those two back in 2020. So 2021, not available anymore. But the 300S is still a fantastically trimmed vehicle and a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing down the road and see how it drives. So here's the funny thing. A lot of people will say that the 300 really is just a Charger. There's really no difference between the two, but I have to admit that being behind the wheel, they do drive a little bit different. The steering feel in the Chrysler 300 feels just a little bit lighter, which is kind of nice. I mean, this does have such, even though this is an S, it very much has a touring type feel to it. The brakes in it feel really good. Very, very smooth riding vehicle. It's not that the Charger isn't, it's just this kind of has a little bit more of a refinement type feel to it. I don't know what else to, how else to say it. So the V8 300S actually gets 363 horsepower and 394 pound-feet of torque. And you can definitely feel it when you go to step on it. Just listen to it. You still get a rumbly V8 in a vehicle that drives this smooth and has this amount of refinement. So you sort of get the best of both worlds with this particular trim. So my dad actually drives a Chrysler 300, actually very similar to this one. And he's always telling me, look, you know, you need to go out and tell people that, you know, about the 300. It's such a great car. It's well-rounded. It does a lot of things well. It's very comfortable. And truth is, he's right. I mean, it really is a well-rounded, well-sorted vehicle. And it's not crazy in terms of power. It's not a race car, but in terms of just being awesome from a daily and having a lot of room in it, being something that looks luxurious and kind of checks a lot of boxes, this does every bit of that. And a very enjoyable driving experience. So at the end of the day, you know, it's similar looks, similar feel to a Dodge Charger. I fully agree with that. This just has a little bit more of a grown-up type feel to it. It really does just feel like a Dodge Charger that kind of just decided to mind its manners and grow up a little bit. I hate to say it that way, but that's how it feels. And if I had to choose, and I've mentioned this before, but if I had to choose between the 5.7 300S or the 5.7 Hemi Charger, I have to say I would choose this one. This one is just, I mean, I love both, but this one is just, it's just a little bit better. So there you have it. That's my little review about some of the quirks that I love about the Chrysler 300. This really is a great car. What a fantastic daily this thing would make, and I'm just kind of a big fan. And a lot of people have speculated that maybe Chrysler may actually go away at some point. After all, they're only making the Pacifica minivan and then, of course, this thing. But I will say they're doing this thing well, and it still is very relevant, the Chrysler 300, whether it's the Touring, whether it is the L, or whether it is this particular one, which is the 300S, either in the V6 or the V8. They're all great trims. Hopefully they will stick around and we'll continue to enjoy these. And anyway, guys, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, RacerX.